Malaysia has been stepping up efforts to attract a stable inflow of investment to its Iskandar development region, a sprawling economic hub 3 times the size of Singapore. The Republic has been the largest foreign investor in this development region, with investments worth more than $3 billion so far. It's also Malaysia's biggest trading partner, with trade amounting to more than $110 billion in 2012. The Changcheng Group, a vegetable processing and food and beverage company, is a Singapore-based operation which has spread its wings into Malaysia. The company's owner, Ricky Kok, does not see recent political developments in Malaysia having much of a negative impact, at least in the short term. But he's still concerned about the economic climate in the country due to the sharp fall of the Malaysian currency. The ringgit has lost more than a fifth of its value against the US dollar, now hovering around 410 Malaysian ringgit to the greenback.
马币的下滑刚好过去的4月份我们的这个消费税也在实行哦，然后对整个的马来西亚的本身的人民来讲呢，的确是会有一种比较沉重的一种负担啊。我们采取了我们一种薄利多销的一个生意了哈，就像我们的这个长城快餐这个卤肉霸王饭，所以我们以经济一种量的一种方程式来经营我们的生意。
Maintaining strong revenue flows has proved a major challenge for the Malaysian government of late. A deepening political crisis has taken a toll on investor sentiment. Foreign funds are making their exit from the Malaysian stock market at the fastest pace in Asia this year. The ringgit has weakened to its lowest level in a decade, while exports and state revenue have faltered following a fall in commodity prices.
We have seen foreign investors, over recent months, selling down the Malaysian stocks. Well, they make good money out of it. We even have seen, people just selling across the board, even though we would say some of the export-oriented listed company, your glove manufacturer, your furniture manufacturer, who ought to be benefiting from the weaker currency, also being sold down as well. So that certainly reflects worry on the part of investors with regard to what they perceive to be the uncertain political landscape, which may impact on the growth prospect going forward itself.
But the Malaysian economy is showing considerable resilience. Despite strong external headwinds and deteriorating consumer sentiment, its second quarter growth this year expanded by 4.9%, beating all predictions.
After the decline in oil prices, the perception has been that Malaysia is going to be badly hit, given that it's the only major energy exporter within the region. Fact of the matter is that Malaysia does not export a lot of oil. It does export a lot of natural gas, but for that the demand is very sticky. So while sentiment around Malaysia has been negative in the last few months, the real economy seems to be doing pretty okay.
So we can look at the overall balance of payment. It's still in surplus. If you're looking at current account, it's still surplus. If you look at the level of foreign reserve, it may have declined significantly over the last, say, 6 months or so, but nonetheless, you're still finding that the reserve is sufficient to is equivalent to be something like 7 months of retained imports itself, which is a far healthier position than what it was in 96, 98.
The economy may be holding up, but even at 4.9%, GDP growth in the second quarter is the slowest in 2 years. There are increasing concerns that continuing pressures may have a debilitating impact on the economy, and that will be the case the longer the present political crisis drags on.
So the next 6 months, I think, is quite vulnerable for Malaysia, whether the confidence is recovered or whether it continue to come under pressure from the unfolding controversy on the political front.
From that perspective, it does kind of bring, a sense of negativity. But when we look at its impact on the real economy, we don't see that being so high, at least at this point.
Ricky, however, is not considering pulling out of Malaysia or scaling down his operations anytime soon. Instead, he intends to continue with plans to expand over the next 2 years.
我们在金融风暴97、98的时候呢，我们也是整个市场其实都不是很乐观整个经济都放缓下来了。可是，在当时的时候呢，我们也准备好了我们的团队呢，在那个时候呢，在别人不进场的当中呢，我们也继续的去开发我们的市场。所以，一直到今天2015呢，虽然说整个环境呢放缓下来，特别是马来西亚呢，可是我认为在这个危机之中其实我认为还是有我们的一些商机呢，可以争取的。
We are major trading partners of each other, and in the last several years, you can see that due to rising costs in Singapore, many of our companies have moved to Malaysia for maybe manufacturing activities. In some cases, they maybe even base themselves there for certain services work, right? So there will be this kind of interconnection and this kind of close links. We also continue to be an important business hub in the region, and our financial and transportation services are very well connected with the rest of the world. So these links will continue to bring business to Singapore.
Malaysia now stands at the crossroads. It has yet to decide which direction to take, even as society is being pulled asunder by divergent forces which are out to make a lasting imprint on the country's social, political and economic landscapes. As parties and individuals push ahead in their drive for political supremacy and ideological ascendancy, no one knows yet what will emerge from a bitter political contest that has divided this nation along racial, ideological and religious lines. But the road ahead will be fraught with difficulty, even as the ultimate destination remains uncertain.
Here's a reminder of our top stories. Police in